These basketball shoes were $45 retail price. I got them at Kohl's, and color me surprised. Shaq's new shoe is not half bad. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on something that I personally never thought that we'd do here on the channel. However, Shaq has expanded his brand a little bit. So this is the new style box. If you're wondering like, hey, why is the Dunkman logo from his Reebok line featured on his own shoes that are sold elsewhere? It's because Shaq actually owns this, and he's owned it since the beginning. Very smart guy. But anyways, this is the box right here, so nothing special, and I wouldn't expect much for a $45 shoe, both in the packaging and presentation, as well as within the product itself. But that's where, you know, I'm really surprised with the shoe, because like I was saying, he's kind of like revamped his brand. So not only are they not just in Walmart's, but this specific line seems to be exclusive to Kohl's. So this is like a more elevated version of his shoe for a slightly more expensive price, but still extremely affordable for anybody out there that wanted something without breaking the bank, and something that was super functional and decent quality too on top of that. Like, that's the part where I'm really surprised, is the materials and the cushioning. It's kind of like, bro, I'm looking at Nike's like sub-level products right now and being like, why do those even exist at the prices that they do when there's stuff like this that is in direct competition with them that clearly beats them out as far as the price is concerned for what you're offered? Similar offerings, half the price.
I'm listening.
Now, before we deep dive into these potential bad boys, we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be the good folks over at Sole Premise. Sole Premise offers a great variety of travel bags that are designed and built with sneakerheads in mind. The carry-on travel backpacks can fit up to 5 pairs of shoes, or if you're a light packer, 1 pair of shoes, since you're already wearing one while you're traveling, which leaves you with a ton of space for all of your other belongings. And yes, these bags are TSA approved. They fit in the overhead compartment. I've tried this many times and it works successfully. The travel day packs fit up to 2 pairs of sneakers. They even have toiletry bags, crossbody bags, and my personal favorite, the sports bag. I use that every day when I go to the gym. It fits my backup pair, my testing pair, and then another testing pair, along with all of my other stuff: gum, water bottles, change of clothes, sometimes my camera. You never know what might be in that thing. It's like Mary Poppins bag. It's amazing. You can use our promo code that you see on the screen right now to save yourself up to 40% on your purchase with the link down below in our description box. You're welcome in advance. Now, with all that being said, one more thing off the top. This shirt is available now along with our Power Up Since 93 tee. So if you were interested in either one, make sure that you grab them before Friday, because on Friday, that's when orders close, and we do not keep designs available, mostly because we cannot keep the screens to make them. So if you miss out on a design, that's why you never see it again.
And there goes today's question of the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was t-shirt related? We already answered one.
You wrote back to them. I was gonna let you speak
Oh.
to the broader audience.
My bad.
It's cool.
I mean,
Now you get 2.
new question. Anyways, like I was saying, these guys right here are available now over at Kohl's. They're available in both men's and kids. Kids have a little bit of a slightly different offering, but for the most part, it's the same stuff, just different colors. The reason why I picked this shoe is because there are 4 models available: the SHAQ Hall of Fame, the SHAQ Speed Demon, this shoe right here, which is called the SHAQ RAQ, as well as a lifestyle offering, which is called the SHAQ. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And like I said, I picked this model because, well, for me, it's the most appealing visually, and on top of that, the tooling is the same exact tooling. Like, I'm talking about the cushion, midsole, outsole. It's the same on every single model except for one, which is the slightly cheaper version, which is the $39.99 SHAQ Speed model. And I did not grab those just because they don't even look appealing, and at $39.99, I'm not sure if they offer the same stuff as this. I'm assuming that they do, but with reduced materials. But outside of that, the tooling on these are shared between the other 3 models, so the performance and feel is going to be almost identical. Moving to the bottom, the traction's interesting. You've got very large herringbone in the heel and in the forefoot, basically just the tip of the forefoot, right here in the midfoot section where most of the foot is going to be striking, or at least maneuvering and planting. Those are a little bit tighter spaced. It's kind of like almost a radial style pattern. It does feel like it's going to grip really well, so you know, there's that. On top of that, the material or the rubber itself is durable, so it feels like it's going to last outdoors. This is one of those things where, like, if you're wondering like, hey, what would this be great for? Outdoor outdoors might be that thing. The one thing that I'll say that I don't love is just the SHAQ logo right here, and it's not from a visual perspective, it's on the right shoe. When you have multicolored outsoles like this, a lot of times they're just putting in the color real quick. Sometimes the color migrates, sometimes the color will kind of like poke or bleed through. So I'm assuming on that right shoe, the white poke through the maroon. And so on that logo, it feels like it was just quickly painted over. And yes, that's a thing. So when you start to wear them, you'll notice like peeling and stuff like that on your outsole. It looks like, you know, like rubber paint. A lot of cheaper models do this, and that's what this one feels like it's done. So I don't love that, just because like that's going to require a little bit of extra braking time. But again, if you're outside, it shouldn't matter at all. But again, the outsole right here, durable. It feels really good. I love that they actually have a little outrigger right there too. It's like this was designed with actual performance and basketball in mind. Fun fact, the designer of this shoe, his name is Kohl, and he actually designs a lot of the And1 products right now, like the current modern And1. So if you were wondering, like, hey, that kind of feels and looks similar, like materials and tech wise, that's why. Now the midsole is very interesting because it's an EVA. It feels lightweight. It's got a nice little bounce or spring to it. It's not dense and hard as a rock. So if you're wondering what is the difference between this product and the Walmart version of SHAQ shoes, the Walmart versions actually feature full-on rubber midsole outsole. And yes, I said rubber midsole, not good. Essentially a brick. Not the best setup, definitely cheap, and that's why they are, you know, hanging on a peg over at Walmart for the prices that they are. This, a little bit different. They actually had to open tooling molds for both the outsole and the midsole. And on top of that, they switched up the materials. So again, we've got rubber and then we've got EVA. And again, the EVA actually feels good. I'm super surprised. It feels better than some of the cheaper Nike models. And by cheaper, I mean the $100 to like, what, 90 bucks, something like that. Usually like they're like 79 to about 100. Stuff that you'll find at a big box store like a Kohl's, a Famous Footwear, DSW, WSS, places like that. Now the insole is not great, but funny enough, it's pretty much in line with what almost every other brand is offering. And again, that's something to like raise an eyebrow to, because it's like, hey, if this brand is putting in that kind of insole and they're retailing at 45 bucks, why is my $100 plus product coming with the same cheap piece of insole? Obviously the insole is an easy fix. You could take it out, swap it out for anything else like a move insole, and you will be good to go. So at 45 bucks with something like an extra insole, you're getting a pretty good product. Now the materials are where I get surprised once again, not only with the cushion, but that material package is like, wow, how is this on $45 worth of shoe? It doesn't compute. So what we actually have is a very interesting textile base layer. It kind of looks like an old sweater, but it feels good. Requires very little break-in time. It is featured on the tongue. I don't like that. I want something more breathable there. And then on top of that is a fuse-like material. So it's that hot melt stuff. It's like very thin TPU plastic, and those are in the high wear areas and stress zones. And then on top of all of that is suede, actual suede. I'm not going to say that's premium or anything, but when we compare this suede to something that's on a lot of Jordan products or a lot of Nike products, it's almost the same. How is this on a $45 shoe? A $45 basketball shoe. Now the tongue right here is nothing special. Like I said, it's got very similar materials to the base layer. It's got kind of like weird textile. And then moving on up to the top of it, it's that hot melt stuff. So the fuse, it's not uncomfortable or anything. It's very soft, like that one layer of fabric that actually rests against your skin. Very soft, so that's gonna be a huge plus. However, the tongue is very short. Like it barely, once your foot is in there, it barely covers those top two eyelets if you lace all the way up. So I wish it was a little bit longer. But either way, that's definitely one area where they cut costs. Yeah, and I didn't try this out yet, but I want to real quick. These laces are freaking reflective, dude. Like these are kind of cool. Now the one knock on the brand that I have, at least with my pair that I've got in, because for one, I couldn't get them in store at Kohl's. They're just not available in my location. I had to buy them online and have them shipped to me. But when I open them up, like out of the box, there's black marks all over the medial sides of my shoes, and these are brand new. This is how they came out of the box. They are wrapped in two pieces of paper. That the main, white layer is wrapped around the shoe itself. I think that it's this black paper that got all over it. I don't know how, because it was protected by the white layer, but there's similar black smudges on the box lid and stuff. So it just makes me think that during shipping and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like I think things are getting jostled around a little bit, but either way, that's the one thing. It doesn't matter what the price is that I'm paying for. When I get a new pair of shoes, I want them to look new. I don't want them to look like they got hit by a... Now, as far as size is concerned, I feel like they fit true to size. They're kind of snug, but not like too snug. The weird thing though is that when you look on the size tag, you have like your Euro size, and then I don't know what MEX is. That Mexico? But either way, the size is 9, and then that's usually a European 42.5, but here it's 42. And so like there's like this weird like discrepancy there, but they fit pretty normal for me, so they don't feel like they're a half a size small. So again, I would recommend going true to size, but if they're available in your store, try them on first just to make sure. And if you want to know how, just go to kohls.com, look up the shoe, click on it, click your size, and then down below it'll say like, you know, ship to me or pick up in store. And if it says pick up in store today, that means that they're actually in there. If it says pick up in store in a few days, that means that they're not there, so don't waste your time going over to the store. And with that being said, do we happen to have time for another question of the day, which I didn't mean to ruin earlier?
It's fine. Even though we just spent this whole video going over like getting the best bang for your buck, this question goes in the complete opposite direction. If you guys have one whole day free and don't have to worry about anything the day after, and you both have unlimited budget, where would you go and what would you do in that day?
Where would I go?
Oh, I thought this would be easy.
Really?
I thought we'd be on the same wavelength here.
What are you thinking?
We're going to Disneyland. We're getting one of those VIP tours that are ridiculous, where it's like $500 to $800 an hour, and you have to book them for like 7 to 10 hours at a time. That way we could be first in line everywhere. We get to know all the inner stories, and we get to like shop at the stores, and we get to eat all the food. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I kind of would want to do that, but also my first thought is to go to Florida, the Disney World.
I don't feel like we could do that all in one day.
Why not? I've never been there. We don't got nothing to worry about the next day. You just said. However, I know that there are parks overseas, and I would like to check those out just because they're very different. I want to check out the food. That's what I want to do. I would actually really like to go to Japan. Japan sounds dope. I would like to bring a kid. I would bring both of them. I just don't know if they would both appreciate it. I know that our youngest one would, because he's a huge anime fan and he would love to go nuts at all of the stores that are over there, and so would I. So yeah, those are kind of like the first thoughts in my mind, but you don't look impressed. You look disappointed.
No, that's fine. I just thought it was an easy, I was like, whenever either one of us happens to mention Disneyland, all of a sudden we're like, can we make Disneyland happen?
I'm just saying, translation, she was disappointed. And on top of that, like if we're going to Disneyland like LA or Anaheim, whatever, what I really want to do is to be able to afford the hotel.
That's what I'm saying, unlimited funds.
You just said the VIP tour. I don't even know what that is.
The people who walk around in the checkered outfits and they're leading their families, it's because they're like...
There are people doing that?
Yeah. It would take away the brain work that I usually have to do, where I'm like, oh, if we get the little thing, so we go to this ride at this time, but to kill time, we'll go to this one. Like, that person's in charge of all of that, not me. And they
I have you, so I'm not even worried about that. I didn't even know there were people walking around in checkered outfits and
Yeah, you see them. They're like guiding families. That's what like the famous people do.
I have no idea what that is. I don't know. I do want to go into where Walt's apartment is. I just want to go inside. I want to see what it looks like.
I think that's a different tour, but we have unlimited funds. We can just pack on the tours.
I'm just saying.
All of them.
If I was going to go to Anaheim, like I would do something like that. I'd stay in the big fancy ass hotel, the one made out of wood.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. The big forest thing that's connected to the park, so I could go into the park early.
Yeah.
And all of that. But yeah, I still would really rather go to Florida.
Okay.
It's way bigger over there.
It's really hot and it rains
It's
randomly
hot where
all
we
the
live.
time.
I know, but still, I've never been there. I want to go there. Anyways, sound off below and let us know what you would do. On top of that, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is cool? Do you think that there is a purpose for a shoe like this? I believe that there is. I know that there are Nike outlets and clearance stores and all of that kind of shit where you can get stuff just like this, but with Nike's tech and branding for around the same price depending on the model. But also keep in mind that there are a lot of people without those resources. So something like this might be beneficial. You got to think outside the box, not just in your little bubble. You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, sound off below and let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. We will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.